Da-da.
Thanks for watching the #1 podcast in the entire whole YouTube wrestling community. The one podcast that does not insult anybody. And I'm one of your hosts, Juan.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
And together we are
Road Break
Family. Tuesday morning, May 26, 2020. It's time for us to review Monday Night Raw. Jean-Paul, not really a bad show. A little bit of stains, like you said, like kind of like you were wiping, and then like you kind of had a few stains right there that like could have been better. But in the end, not a really bad show. Jean-Paul, we got crowd again. Not in the capacity of paying fans, but people from the NXT roster. And Glass.
I was just going to say this was a good move, kind of copying AEW. AEW was quick to get on the ball. I feel like WWE should have did a little sooner. Maybe they were scared because they didn't want it to be like, oh, we're copying them. But it's like, who cares? It was nice to hear, in a promo when somebody says something that the crowd would usually ooh and cheer for. It was nice to hear a couple people cheer. When a heel was cutting a promo, it was nice to hear some people boo. Even if it was, like they were told when to cheer and told when to boo, it was still nice to hear. Like you said, the crowd, it definitely, I feel like you did notice it this week than previous weeks without it.
Yes, absolutely. And see, that's important. Also, like we had the big last, kind of remember in the NHL. But like you said, it helped out a little bit more because it gave it at least some kind of sense that there were more people there, which they were. We saw The Rock's daughter. I didn't see Tegan Knox, so I was a little
No, it was, I think Dijakovic was there, Shotzi Blackheart.
Shotzi I did see. I didn't see Dijakovic. But I did see
I saw a list of names, but those
I
are
saw Marina Shafir. I think, no, Jessie Manduke, because she was wearing the Kevin Owens shirt, which we're going to be talking about in this very moment. But thank you for everybody for subscribing. Thank you for believing in us. We had great interviews this weekend, Dog Masters. We learned what the real meaning of kayfabe, because I guess we didn't know. No, we always knew, but we were just being reinforced for that. We have Jordan Garber, we got great guy also, referee, wrestling personality. Like we were talking about all social media, and social media is hot today, Jean-Paul. This past 2 days, a lot of the situations with social media, but we're not going to go in depth with that because Road Break is not all about that. We're here to provide information and to lift your spirits up. So Jean-Paul, Monday Night Raw opens with the Kevin Owens show. Kevin Owens is by himself. He had a thing with Jessie Manduke just because she was wearing a Kevin Owens shirt, and he's like, hey, legit to the guys to the ones that are actually wearing my shirt. You can see she's like, wee. So we got, like you said, we saw Shotzi, we saw a few members of the NXT roster, and then he says he's gonna have a match later on in the night against Angel Garza, or for you guys, Angel Garza, however you want to call it. And he welcomes Asuka to the Kevin Owens show, and he says, well, there's going to be a triple threat match, so what are your thoughts about it? So Asuka decides to answer in Japanese, so Kevin Owens goes like, absolutely, I agree with that, yeah. And then we got to see Charlotte, we got to see Natalya, we got to see Nia Jax, Natalya very apologetic, so this to me seems like that's going to be the kind of character, the gimmick that she's going to have right now.
Because especially with what we kind of saw later on in the night, it's really weird. I don't know where they're taking Natalya. I mean, at least she's having some sort of character development, and she's not just coming out there wearing cat ears and like, oh, here's my cats, and here's my sister and I, doing the sharpshooter. Watch it on YouTube, please.
With no underwear.
Exactly. So, I mean, hey.
That's legit.
Did I watch?
Oh, damn right I did. I did.
But, I mean.
Because we love women unlike somebody else, and I'm talking to you.
Exactly. But I mean, that's cool that she's having some character development, but it's the same song and dance. It's like, okay, there's a triple threat match, and then they all just keep interrupting each other. They all just keep coming out. And Kevin Owens even says he looks at Asuka because they're all staring each other down. I think Asuka took off a kick pad or her coat or something.
She took the coat and the belt. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, the belt. It was a belt. Okay. Then he's like, please don't kick her. Boom, and she kicks Nia, and he's like, whatever. He's like, I tried.
I'll punch her. If I were you, I wouldn't punch her in the face, and boom. And he's like, oh, I know where this is gonna end. And then he just he leaves the ring, and then of course they had a big brawl right there. Not bad, see Kevin Owens. I think he adds a lot of humor.
No, Kevin Owens definitely makes the best out of it. If you would have had somebody like, if this would have been Miz TV, it definitely wouldn't have been as funny, not as enjoyable. The one thing I will say though is I feel bad because like he's clearly not hurt because he wrestled in a match, but you got to think Kevin Owens won at WrestleMania and he's hosting, opening segments of the KO show when Seth Rollins is the one who lost and he's in these main feuds with guys like Aleister Black and Rey Mysterio, Humberto, and then you just, like I said, Kevin Owens is like, so that's the only thing I feel like I don't, maybe they have no plans for him, but I don't know. I don't know how you don't have plans for Kevin Owens.
I couldn't agree with you more because that's how, like, you see the politics, and then, when we have to address something, we address it. We're two guys that we're not afraid of saying how it is, and, okay, so just because he's a babyface, he cannot go against McIntyre, despite the fact that he won. He won at WrestleMania, and now Seth Rollins gets actually the higher end of the stick. So sucks to be Kevin Owens because
it doesn't
matter what you do.
Yeah, like you could have did this where Kevin Owens was supposed to go against, McIntyre, like you said, and then Lashley and MVP could have beat the shit out of him backstage, and they took him out for like a week or two. You know what I mean? And then I don't know, you could do something where MVP's maybe distracting the ref. Kevin Owens jumps the barricade. He hits Lashley with a stunner. Then McIntyre hits him with a Claymore kick. 1, 2, 3. McIntyre retains, and then Kevin Owens got his revenge on Lashley. Lashley still looks, you know what I mean? You could have booked this some kind of way to make it all intertwined, but instead we just got Kevin Owens hosting the KO show.
That's what sucks, but you're right. I could have done something like that. But now, Jean-Paul, let's go to United States Championship match. Apollo Crews going against Andrade Cien Almas. So, good match. Like, they put on like a good show, but see, they pull up the upset here. I mean, but see, I will tell you flat out from the get-go, Cien Almas, was not doing anything with that title, so it's fine.
I was just going to say, you said upset. I'm sure to a lot of people wasn't upset. And if you are talking in-ring talent, I would say that it is a slight upset because Apollo Crews to me is really good. Andrade, still better. I still like him more. I think his in-ring talent is a little bit better, but Apollo Crews is no slouch. And as good as he is and all the hard work he's put in, being stuck in catering, stuck as, Titus Worldwide, all those like just failed pushes, he finally gets a chance. He's not the best promo, but I liked his promo because you could really feel that emotion and that happiness after the match. So I'm excited to see where this goes, and I think it was well-deserved to finally, if this is the only championship he wins, like, I'm sure he's going to enjoy it.
Yeah,
because he definitely deserved it.
It is true. So let's just go to, like, Apollo Crews looks for the spin-out powerbomb, but Andrade counters with a Hurricanrana into the buckles. Not the box, the buckles. Andrade hits, like, the running knees and the come for a near fall, and then Apollo hits an enziguri, and then followed by a military press standing moonsault, and then he gets the win with that. The only thing I have, the only piece of criticism, he should have finished Andrade with a powerbomb because doing that moonsault and everything doesn't look good. But like you said, I loved it.
Yeah, I agree with that because the moonsault was usually like his signature. When he used that in NXT, that was always like everyone would always kick out, and then he'd do the powerbomb or do whatever his finisher was at the time. That like moonsault was never the finish.
Yes,
and also I was expecting Andrade to lose, to be honest. But I thought it would be in some kind of maybe screwy way. Maybe Garza or somebody kind of screws with him, and then they would kind of book this rematch at Backlash. That's what I was thinking they were going. Instead, we got the clean win, which surprised me, but I'm happy for Apollo that it was a clean win.
No, yeah, it was good. And like you said, the realism, the how honest he was when he was cutting the promo, very good. Very good. So good for Apollo. We have a brand new United States champion. And now we're going to go, like, of course, there's a promo or like a video saying that the Street Profits are going to go against the Viking Raiders in a golf. They're going to be playing golf now. So, like, they have to play every single sport. I cannot win when they do soccer because that's the one that I will be watching. I will be paying attention. But after that, Jean-Paul, we're going to see the Monday Night Messiah. He's talking about pretty much like what happened with Rey Mysterio, sacrifices, and then he finally introduces his two disciples. Of course, Buddy Murphy thanks him because he's like, well, I was underrated, nobody sees it, overlooked, nobody ever like really pay attention to me, nobody gave me an opportunity until the Monday Night Messiah saw me, so thank you for that. Same thing with Austin Theory. He mentions the same thing. Hey, I thought I had friends. I thought I was part of like something legit. I thought I was part of Raw Break, but no. I was just part of another podcast or, another group of guys that don't do absolutely jack shit. And then, thank you, Monday Night Raw Messiah, because you finally got me into your group, and now we're good. So pretty much that. And then we got to see, well, any thought on that, Jumbo?
I mean, it was it was good to hear from both those guys. I mean, Buddy Murphy to me was legit, and he was on the rise when he was on SmackDown. When it was who tried to kill Roman Reigns, his stock went up. I wouldn't say it was Seth Rollins. And I think if Austin Theory was still on NXT, his stock would probably be pretty good. He probably would be in that, Cruiserweight Championship tournament going on right now and all this other stuff. But, he decided to put on his big boy pants and go to Monday Night Raw, or he got forced to put on the big boy pants and go to Monday Night Raw. So,
I will go with the second one.
Yeah, so, but if you don't look at all those details, I mean, it's good stuff. Like I said, Rollins is definitely getting the better option here than Kevin Owens. His stable's growing. He's in these, good feuds, interesting storyline. So, I like it. It's just the one thing that I kind of don't like is I feel that it's going to be Seth Rollins and his group pretty much is going against all the other baby faces who have nothing to do on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. No,
which I guess then gives them something to do, but what kind of connection does Aleister Black and Rey Mysterio and Humberto all have? Humberto and Rey Mysterio, I get. They're both Spanish. You can put them together because it's Humberto, Rey Mysterio, his idol, okay, legit. But Aleister Black, they were in Money in the Bank. They both got killed. They both got thrown off the roof.
Or they both think that Selena is hot, probably. You have to be blind to not to think that way.
Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio's blind. Yes. So
there you go. Okay. Good stuff, Jean-Paul. Charlie Caruso is interviewing Charlotte Flair, the measuring stick of the WWE. She says that, she's the one that nobody can compare to her. And, Asuka just comes dancing, so that was really cool. I really like that. It's like, and then she goes, "You don't belong to the red," or she's
like red. Because Charlotte says something about taking
red
back
is not your color. There you go.
Taking back that title, and she's like, "Red is not your color." She's like,
so Asuka, I was laughing. Asuka is legit. Asuka is legit. A great wrestler, and finally they're letting her show her character. She's a lot better because when she has to wrestle, you see the intensity, you see the anger, you see the power, you see all of that. But the fact that
the only thing now that I'm actually it's coming back to me. The only thing that kind of annoyed me a little bit about with Asuka and all this craziness is the first thing she said out of her mouth when the show started was Becky.
Oh yeah.
And then Kevin is like, yeah, okay. He's like, yup, still celebrating Becky, okay. Kevin's one of us. Kevin knows. He's like, okay. It's like, yeah, it was legit, but it was legit 3-4 weeks ago when it happened.
Remember what he said. Kevin Owens goes he went in the road break way because he goes, oh yeah. The WWE has a shirt on, a shirt on sale. Thanks for the plug-in, Becky Lynch. So it was good. It was you're right. If they do it in the right measure, if they give you the right doses of it, I'll be fine. So that's what happened. And I like that. Red is not your color, So.
Yeah, that's what it was. Just a subtle diss. Red's not your color, so pretty much don't even try me. I'm gonna kick your ass.
Yes. So now we go to the Iconics, Peyton Royce and
the iconic duo.
Yep. So Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, they come out and then. Peyton Royce started apologizing. They said, "I'm sorry, I got my emotions carried away." No. I'm the one that has to apologize because I slapped you. I was all over the place. I was thinking about the championships, but I don't want anything to get in the middle of our friendship. It's remember, we did everything together. It's we signed our contracts together. We won the championships together. We did Shawn Spears together.
I was just gonna say that.
It had to be done. But see, that's how we say it with class. Unlike others. Now, that they like to do that with absolute, in a trashy manner, That's all how we're going to say it. So, and then Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, they came out and then just say, well, you guys think that, you've been, handed, that we have been handed everything, and that's not the case. We had to earn our way, and, they didn't let Nikki Cross talk. He's like, honey, she's about to speak, and they're like, oh, honey, no. They're like, no? You're not letting me talk. And it's like, hey, we did everything together. And then when I was by myself, nobody paid attention to me. They thought I was a lunatic. Remember the character in NXT. And then Alexa came along, and now we became a good tag team. We're friends. We start winning matches. Now we are the tag team champions, and they went at it. Brawl again, and then they left Nikki and Alexa standing right there. So that's what it was. What do you think, Jean-Paul?
Yeah, I mean, it was good. The one thing I like is that they weren't splitting the Iconics. Like I said, I mean, are they the greatest in the ring? No. But are they a female tag team in a division that's desperate for female tag teams? Absolutely. So please do not break them up. They didn't do that. They apologized. They do everything together. So that's legit. And, you know, Alexa Bliss and them came out like, again, it's, you know, the only feud that's really there. The Kabuki Warriors aren't a thing because Asuka's the singles champ. Hopefully they use Kairi Sane in a singles role, or, you know, maybe she's just Asuka's little lackey, but hey, whatever. It's fine. At least she would be on TV. But, I mean, let's see some of this feud. I do like what Nikki said. Nikki, when she gets fired up and gets the promos, you know, it's legit stuff. And I like when they like made a comment about Alexa Bliss. They're like, oh, yeah, she's the Office's favorite blonde. And then she's like, oh, yeah, favorite blonde. And I'm like, is that like because of recent events? Was this show taped and it was all coincidental? I'm like, I don't know what's going on here.
I think it was live, Jean-Paul. I think
okay. Well, then it might have been.
I didn't check on that. I'm sorry.
For the people who don't know what's going on, check Twitter and then you'll see. But, you know, This was good stuff. They beat them down. They held up the belts again. So it's like, this is the Iconic. So it's like, okay, is something going to be going on here? Are we going to see more of a feud? I mean, if so, okay, because they really only had one match, but I want there to be a plan for this. I don't want them to just mindlessly feud these two teams for the next how many months.
Yeah, no,
a winner, and then you need to do another team. Either move the champions to SmackDown, but see, there's no women's teams over there unless you would do unless you make Dana Brooke and Carmella a legit team.
Or like Carmella and Dana Brooke again. I don't know, but like you said, all I gotta say is like, we mentioned this last week, so I'm just gonna say it really quick. Alexa Bliss needs something to do because for like the people that hate her, hey, Alexa Bliss has a lot of fandom, so she needs something to do, and she's not gonna be in a profile championship match. She doesn't have room for that, you know. Right now, there's so many girls, so there's neither brand you can put her into something. So having her with like the tag team championships is fine. Like you said, just create with the other girls that you have left, create teams. That way you can feud them with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. But no, good promo from both of the girls, both teams, so it's good. And
yeah, I mean, the best way like to do it is they should have did something where it should have been like an 8-woman team tournament. Because then you would have to take 16 women, you know, from the huge roster of women and then form 8 teams. And then these 8 teams could have battled it out in a tournament or something for this, you know, for the titles, but instead they kind of just threw random teams. Half those teams don't even exist anymore. You had Nia Jax and Tamina. That was a legit team because they were both really big women. It's like, oh, who's going to be strong enough to beat them? That team lasted longer than, you know, me eating a chicken sandwich at Burger King. So, you know, I don't know what to tell you, but
it's true. So, Jean-Paul, let's move on to the MVP Lounge. He's going to be interviewing McIntyre, Drew McIntyre. So he pretty much says that, you know, he gets into the ring and throws furniture around. He has MVP where Bobby Lashley is, and MVP plays dumb. MVP says Drew doesn't have to worry about a sneak attack. He says the full Nelson won't be happening until Backlash. The full Nelson, or like the Master's lock. No, not the Pretty Boy Dog Masters, but Masters from like 06 with the Masters.
Oh, I thought you meant like
yeah,
like that Nelson.
Oh yeah, well that's the legit Nelson. So MVP says relax, you know, and then, no sneak attack, you're good. So Drew remembers the last time he invited him to the VIP lounge and he offered him his guidance, and then MVP says Bobby Lashley, look, took his offer, and it only took him in a few weeks, and then he get a title shot. He's like, hey, you know, if you get under my mentorship, then you'll be fine. But Mike,
and I love how and see, I want to know your opinion on this when he says that Lashley was 13 years since his last title opportunity. McIntyre says, well, it took me 19 years, but he won the tag team titles. Do you know what I mean? So it's he's counting. McIntyre means like heavyweight champion.
Yeah. They don't want, you know.
I don't even think he saw, because when was his IC title run? That wasn't 19 years ago.
No. The Lashley was like 2 years ago.
No, the IC when.
No. The IC was like, let me see, 10 years ago.
Yeah, so McIntyre, that's what I mean. So he even had IC. Like, dude, you're just gonna not even count the Intercontinental Championship belt? Like who cares about? So that's the one thing I don't like about McIntyre. I'm like, really, dude? That's like, oh, it's been 19 years. It's like, dude, you won the IC belt. You know, Macho Man, Ricky Steamboat, like all these legit people, Jericho. All these legit people held that boat.
Much, that tells you how much like they even care about their own product.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, man. But other than that, it's legit stuff, how they go back and forth, and I'm excited to see this Slammiversary match. I mean, this Backlash match.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. And for the ones that want to watch it again, and just see Drew Galloway going against Bobby Lashley, but pretty much he got a Claymore kick. MVP got a Claymore kick and done. By the way, for all the family, we hope that you guys enjoy your Memorial Day. We hope you have some grilling going, with some like burgers, some chicken, a lot of fun with the family. The pandemic is almost over. So, hey, let's try to enjoy ourselves a little bit. But you're right, Jean-Paul. Well, like, I think they're counting that as like world titles.
Yeah, like that's what I think so too.
Heavyweight champion. So
yeah, and then did Lashley come out before or after he Claymore kicked him? Because that's the only thing after. Okay, then that makes a little more sense because he's like, yeah, Lashley's not coming out, and then boom, 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 almighty, and I'm like, well, here he comes.
Yeah, so like he did after the Claymore kick.
Okay, so but that makes a little more sense.
They're setting the feud. We said it was going to happen. So Charlie's interviewing Natalia, and then Tyson Kidd calls her, and that was kind of like, I don't know, again, like the gimmick is a little like unclear for now, so we got to keep seeing what's going to happen. But pretty much like she's like, no, TJ, I'm good, blah, blah, blah. And then she comes back, he's like, oh, our time is up. And then I just much rather see Natty in the storyline where she had to fart. That was like 10 years ago. She'll come around you and you'll hear like, and then everybody will be like, and then they leave. That's much.
Oh, no, that is, like every time I see her in really stupid stuff, and I'm not trying to be mean or like offensive, but I'm like, Anvil is turning in his grave. He's like there, and he's like, so.
But like see, Natty at least does the favors, and
yeah, but that's I'm like the. Like, I don't know, like I said, you could do something with her, like, honestly.
It's a shame she's overlooked because, like, she has all the talent in the world. Out of all those women, she's probably the most talented one. But she trained in the dungeon, she trained in Japan, she's been all over the place. Like, I mean, for wrestling ability, she could be as good as Asuka, as good as any one of them. But, they choose always to, like, kind of like, hey, you're going to be the one that, like, does the job, and then that's all you do. And
the one thing, I don't know if we got to it, I think it was earlier, when Apollo Crews had his interview. The one thing, because we talked about with McIntyre and how he's like, oh, hey, Charlie. Said it too.
Apollo was also like pretty like,
yeah, like very personable instead of, or Kayla, instead of like when they just like, oh, so we want to ask you something. And then they act like,
what's up, Kayla? I thought he was about to say, are you from like SmackDown? Like, but, like I said, Apollo is pretty good because like everything is genuine. Whereas, like, the ones look scripted, he looks genuine. Probably they'd be like, hey, just make sure you're positive, make sure you're good, say whatever you want to say. And, yeah, it works.
Yeah, but that's what I'm – but then, like, this Natty promo just seemed really, like, scripted and weird and just kind of out of place.
That's not – like I said, unclear. We'll see what happens with that. Jean-Paul, Kevin Owens against Angel Garza. The Latinos in the house or Latinos en la casa. He doesn't even let Kevin Owens go in. So, like, he, like, pretty much, like, does, like, he attacks the knee from the get-go.
One thing quick before we get into the match. I like when Garza was talking to Kayla during the Andrade match.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, a good match is like making love. And he's just, like, looking at her, and I'm like, this guy is so smooth. You know what I mean? Like, he's got it.
He makes me, he makes me question my Latino-ship. Because I'm like, I was born there, so I'm like, why can't I talk like that? Where's the game? I need to go back and watch tapes.
Where's the game? It's at GameStop, but they're in lockdown. So
but like I'm like where I need to watch Guerrero, I need to watch Garza. Where is like my Latino-ness? Where is it? Where the hell is it? I don't know where it is. I got too Americanized, I guess. I gotta talk to Garza.
You're not oozing machismo. What the heck?
Yeah, I gotta hang out with Garza a little bit so like I can get that back because I know it's in me, but I'm like Krillin. That then I need to go to Nameku and they have to awake those powers, arise them back again. So he wins with a wing clipper, good match. But like Kevin Owens, because the knee was attacked, that was the main theme, and like pretty much that's how he sold the win. he attacked that, and then every time he tried to get a comeback or try to get some offense, that would be bothering him. And then win Clipper and done. So good stuff for Angel.
When he had him, I actually didn't think Garza was going to win this. The whole time going into this, I'm like, okay, they're just going to have Zelina Vega's crew. They're just going to be losers. This was a really wasted faction. And then as soon as he got him up in the wing Clipper before he, finished it, I'm like, oh, no way. I'm like, Kevin Owens is too legit. He won't disrespect Garza and kick out of his finisher. I'm like, if Garza hits it, it's done. He hit the wing Clipper. And so I was like, that's good. Garza is one of the guys that needed a clean win because I think they're going to do something with Andrade. I don't think he loses the title and just disappears into obscurity. I think he's going to lose the title. Yep, that's what I mean. So there's going to be something going on.
Yeah, good. Good. He deserves that, and it's pretty interesting. So, like, at least when they do things like this, Garza is so believable. It's fine. I feel a little bad for Kevin Owens, but we already mentioned why we feel bad. So, Street Profits against the Viking Raiders. Golf, they tried to go to, like, Tiger Woods. Sergio Garcia, that's the only two golfers I know, so don't ask me anything else.
I only know one, Tiger Woods. So.
That's as much that.
And Arnold Palmer, the guy who has the half tea, half lemonade drink.
Oh yeah,
Arnold Palmer.
I think
not Turkey Hill. No, Turkey Hill.
Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona. Okay, that's
legit. So like for the ones that drink Arizona like sweet tea, good for you because we had something in common. Yeah. So 2-1. That's how the Street Profits. I think they win. Street Profits.
Yeah, the
win.
Street Profits won. Yeah, let's just skip through this.
So pretty much. Next show we're gonna have somebody that is an expert on golf, so he can be addressing how the plays and how everything of the highlights. But for this show, we're just gonna oversee that a little bit because we need to get another guy that is an expert on golf. So I mean, whatever. It's getting boring for me. An idea that I don't really pay attention. What I didn't pay attention either is Lana approaching MVP and Bobby Lashley. Lana has a terrible 10. I like her a little more when she's more natural, like a blonde and she looks kind of weird. I don't know what's going on that, but the 10 that she has is not good. So she approaches MVP and Bobby Lashley with ice. Ice baby, and she says she's sorry for what Drew did to MVP, and she thinks that this is all a joke. So Lashley will send a message tonight. And they needed to send one right back, so they leave her as she throws the ice. She's really upset because they don't really take the ice and everything. It's like, hey, you keep doing your thing as the wife and move on. So she gets really mad. I don't think this is supporting the storyline in any way. What do you think?
No, I don't the only thing I can see with this is Lashley's about to put McIntyre away and Lana comes out. Lana kind of maybe distracts him. And I'm not saying where he's about to pin McIntyre and it's like, oh, if without Lana, McIntyre would have lost. But you do something where maybe, Lashley has the upper hand. Lana comes out. He's like, what the hell are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Maybe MVP starts yelling at her. Maybe MVP even pushes her. And then Bobby can be like, yo, what the hell, dude? That's my wife. You could yell at her, whatever, but don't put hands on her. Then McIntyre, Claymore kick, 1, 2, 3. Do something like that. Or because I'm scratching my head because they got all these ideas. I saw they brought back our boy Drew Gulak.
Yes.
He's back now on SmackDown. Maybe we see Machka kick one more time. Maybe he comes out and, do you do something with him after this feud? They re-sign Rusev. Who knows?
Yep, man.
You don't really know. But I don't think they're going to do that. I think it's more the first option. Lana's going to cause him the match. And then they're eventually gonna, they're gonna get their divorce or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's
and then done.
But that nightmare will be finally over. But from nightmare to another nightmare, like the Monday Night Raw Messiah, Austin Theory. We go with Buddy Murphy, of course. Like I said, Seth Rollins, tag match. Okay, Seth is gonna be on the outside, going against Humberto Carrillo and Aleister Black. Really pretty decent match, of course. 4 guys that are completely great wrestlers. So why wouldn't this be a great match? So pretty much, Paul Black kicks out of a roll-up and hits a knee to the face of Theory. Black attacks Humberto and runs to the apron, but Murphy sends him to the outside. Carrillo attacks Murphy, but then Theory hits with a FTL for the win. The TKO, however you want to call it. But pretty good match. And then there was a situation that. Seth Rollins was saying Aleister Black got a chair. It's gonna start beating up people. But Seth Rollins said, "Stop that! Don't do it!" And they got Carrillo, and both of them is pointing like to his eye with the
essentially gonna do the same thing he did with Mysterio.
Yes. And and they're like, oh, shut, don't do anything. Put that chair down. It's done. You want him to lose his eye?
And see, this is what I liked, because I mean, it's kind of getting Aleister Black over. It seems like Aleister Black is the one guy who's just kind of like the main baby face, I would say, in all this, because Ray, they took out. Humberto really only came in kind of because of Ray, and then Humberto's like already done. But I like the intensity from Rollins. He's like, get out of the ring. He's like, get rid of the chair and all this stuff. And like his group and his guys look legit because they got the win here. It wasn't like they lost and they looked like sore losers and then they beat down Humberto. They got the win. They're also disrespecting him like this. So I like it. But again, it goes back to the same thing. Rollins all the way up here, and then Kevin Owens he's just barely at the bottom. It's like, hey, did you lose to Angel Garza down there? Oh, okay. As Seth Rollins all the way up, in the Skyrise apartments, like, hey. But I mean, it was good though. Like I said, I'm excited, and at least it gives. I did complain about it, but at least it gives these other baby faces a role, and gets them on television when otherwise, I don't know what they would be doing with guys like Humberto, Aleister Black.
It is true, Jean-Paul. I agree with you. So, like, a good thing. Good, like, see, this thing at least is somewhat intense, and I like that. So, Jean-Paul, we go to, like, on this day, I see clearly. Edge is backstage, and he says, Randy.
It's the greatest wrestling match.
Yep. This is the best one of all time, and that's what they say. And Edge is backstage, and he says, Randy called him flat-footed for weeks ago. Maybe he was still basking in his glory. No, in the glow of WrestleMania. But if it doesn't happen often, so congratulations to Orton. And here it is, doubting himself to be fully transparent. He was retired for 3,212 days, and in that time, Orton competed in 1,126 matches. A lot of detail here, a lot of info. And then he says, I fought the likes of, Mysterio. I fought the likes of Owen Hart, Eddie Guerrero. I fought like everybody. Brock Lesnar, all of them. And like I was able to adapt. I took these guys to the rest matches. But when I saw the last ride of the episode of Last Ride, The Undertaker, or The Undertaker's Last Ride, of course they have to plug that in. I mean, it's a great show. Please watch it. It's way better than The Last Dance. And there you go for the fans of Michael Jordan. The Undertaker's documentary is much better. So pretty much he's saying that, and he says that he's really doubting himself now, John. He doesn't know what type of matches he's going to be able to put on because, he's been retired for so long while Orton has been in the dance and not the Last Dance for all this long, And then he says, he says in, the documentary of The Undertaker, he says, that hopefully he knows when is the right time to go. So, his question now this. So, Randy wants to doubt his ability, but he has a hole for hole with the likes of, like I said, Eddie Guerrero and everybody. So, pretty much he just says, in Backlash, he's going to dig into the depths of his soul to try to be the best, to try to come up with the best match, and that's all a man can do. So what do you think, Mr. Eck?
I like this promo from Edge. Like I said, Edge is getting really good. He's getting intense with the promos, whether it's acting classes, just for how many years of cutting promos.
Edge was in a lot of movies, so he has.
And I mean, Edge was never. I don't think Edge was really ever like a bad promo. It wasn't like he cut a promo and you're like, oh my god, you know what I mean? And you want to change the channel. It was always legit stuff. But the one thing I don't like about the whole thing is he's talking about how he has self-doubt, but in the end of the day, he's still going to pull, deep from his soul, but he doesn't know. But WWE is like, oh no, we do know. This is the greatest wrestling match ever. Mm-hmm. And that's where I'm like, why are you coining it as the greatest wrestling match ever? When one, that's a stupid tagline. I don't even care if this is going to be AJ Styles going against Kenny Omega 5 years ago. I still wouldn't call it the greatest wrestling match ever. I don't care if this is Okada Omega 3. I'm still not going to be calling it the greatest wrestling match ever. To me, that's just really corny. Let the match speak for itself.
Yes.
But, I just don't like how they're calling it this match. And then when it's like, Edge, do you think this is going to be the greatest wrestling match ever? He's like, dude, I don't even know if I can wrestle. And they're like, oh. So it's just kind of like when you really pay attention to all the details, it doesn't add up. They're taking 1 + 2 and they're giving you 17, and you're like, shouldn't that be 3? And they're like, no.
Yeah, no, it is true. That's the only thing about how believable Edge comes out is just great.
Like I said, Edge just Home run with a promo.
The only thing I'm telling you is like they're only prolonging this because of the ratings. Because also they don't have probably planned a lot of things, so that's why they like prolonging this to Backlash. They need a big marquee match because we all know. Let's be honest here. Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre is not a real seller. Not because of like the quality of these guys. A lot of people hate Lashley. I don't think he's never been a bad wrestler. Maybe like I said, about the promo, he's never been like so like intense or like people can. The one thing Lashley just does not have is just like a character.
But let me say this to you about Lashley. You look at him now, the past couple of weeks, like when he destroyed R-Truth, how he was tonight, and this and that. It's legit. It's believable. It's intense. What if he debuted like this?
Oh, yeah.
What if when he debuted, then this match, if he debuted like that, all, intense and legit, then boom, 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 we get to this point, we would be like, oh, shit, he could beat McIntyre. There'd be a lot of people out there that are probably like, yeah, I'm picking Lashley. This is his time.
Yeah,
like Drew, exactly. Sorry, blah, blah, blah. But
it took him for 2 years.
Was a joke. Yeah, we see how he was a joke with all the thing with his sisters and Sami Zayn, and then he had the IC title run, and then he lost the IC belt. Then he was in the Royal Rumble, or he was in the Royal Rumble as the IC champ. He was eliminated in like under a minute.
Yes.
So it was just really bad stuff, and now he's finally on the legit path. But it's like you said, it's too little too late because nobody really believes in him.
And that's what I mean. So Jean-Paul, like that's why it's just that's the little piece of thing that I have right there. But like then we get to see like the Viking Raiders walk off on MVP and Lashley, then walk up to the Profits, and MVP says they're going to be another case of talent washed down the drain. The Profits ask if there's a problem and poke fun of MVP for getting Claymore kicked. And then MVP challenges them to a tag team match tonight against him and Bobby Lashley. So, that was pretty much our main event. They had to do that.
Let me just say about this. So normally when a show starts like this, you watch Raw back in like 98, 2000, whenever. At the start of the show, they're like, oh, tonight's main event is this. Or like you knew about it beforehand.
Yes.
This show just randomly, like the superstars themselves, randomly set up what the main event was going to be.
They booked the show themselves. Yes.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? It wasn't like there was a commissioner that was like, oh, yeah, MVP and, Bobby Lashley are going to be taking on a tag team of their choice in their main event or something. And then it's like, at least it's like, okay.
At least we know where it's going to happen. Yeah. So that's pretty much like, that's the one thing, again, like we said, that it could be a little different. And that's all there is to say on that by Jean-Paul. Triple threat match for number one contender for the Raw Women's Championship, Charlotte Flair, Natalya, and Nia Jax. Really good match. But you said it. Why? Because there were two girls that are absolutely great in the ring. That is Charlotte and Natalya. And of course, Nia Jax she was there too. She was there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nia Jax had to be there to, essentially, pin the woman who you could say, no offense, but the office doesn't really care about.
Yes.
Because it's like, okay, you put Charlotte in this match. It's like, why? Maybe, hey, I like the interaction between Charlotte and Asuka. That's good stuff. They had the hatred there, the feud, the rivalry, whatever you want to call it. So maybe that's why they put her in there. And then Nia Jax, also same thing, beat down Kairi Sane. Asuka, knocked her out last week. And she was the clear one to win it. I don't even know why we had this triple threat. I don't know why they just didn't book the match and just, save us. But it was a good match. But then you put Natalya in there. And it's like, oh, that's the one who's going to eat the pin. Sorry,
exactly
Natty.
Right, sir. Yep.
But hey.
Shayna Baszler, no Bianca Belair, because they probably still have faith in like promoting them or pushing them later on.
And maybe the loss here will also kind of tie into Natalya's kind of character turn, storyline thing. She loses. Maybe that'll do something. I hope. But like again, you knew Charlotte wasn't going to lose. What are you going to pin the NXT Women's Champ? No, you're not going to do that. So.
Yeah, exactly right, Mr. Leek. So good match. Like they had a living power bomb in Nia Jax. Charlotte and Natalya. And are you ready? Is that what Natalya said? So it's time to.
Yeah. They had her up because it was I heard it. It was just one of those things where it was just like the wrong place at the wrong time because commentary was talking, everybody was saying stuff. And then the crowd was cheering, and then everything went silent at once. And then as soon as that Natty's like, ready? Boom! And then they powerbombed her, and I'm like,
ready? Oh, okay, ready? I think that's how you could get a powerbomb nowadays. But like I said, good match. Even Natalya seemed like at some point had chances to win because she had the sharpshooter on Charlotte. Mm-hmm. She's about to tap. Nia, of course, break it off, and then also Same thing, figure 8. She was about to tap. Nia was about to tap, but then Natalya broke it off. But in the end, like I said, figure 4 or figure 8, Jax hit the leg drop to Flair, and she's in the move. Then Nia Jax leaves Natty, and she hits the Samoan drive for the win. So Nia Jax is #1 contender for the Raw Women's Championship. The only thing I have to say to that, Jean-Paul, why do we get this great match if we knew that like the #1 contender was going to be Nia Jax? There was no point for me, I guess, to just kind of give her like a significant win. And that's the only reason. I really like Asuka on commentary. I think it's funny. I think, Nadi! I really
I mean, like you said, I don't know why you did it. I mean, you could have did something. You could have put different women in there. I feel like it should have been, maybe like Liv Morgan or Bianca Belair. You know, somebody you really could have put in there, did something. But I don't know. I just wouldn't have had the match. To be honest, like I said, it wasn't that the match wasn't enjoyable. It was decent. It was pretty good, but I just wouldn't have had it because before it even started, you knew it was going to be Nia Jax. Yep. And it ended up being Nia Jax. So it was like, okay.
Yep. So that's why, but at least we have a #1 contender. Now we have also like a quick promo from R-Truth. He has realized that like Tom Brady is not the 24/7 champion. So thanks whoever that told him that. So he addresses Rob Gronkowski. He's saying that, he's coming after the title. Then we had a pretty cringy promo about Rob because when he had the glasses, it looked somewhat believable. But then he took away the shades like Jean-Paul, and then you could clearly saw he was reading something.
Yeah.
His eyesight was not focused at the camera, like mine.
Yeah, and again, I mean, that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, okay, this is a decent promo, and then I'm like looking at his eyes, and you see him moving, and I'm like, okay. And I shouldn't have even said it was a decent promo because he's trying to steal my gimmick, but I don't know.
But so that was.
I mean, at least he was a good enough sport to be like on TV because he's signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so he is doing stuff with them. But I mean, at least he's there. But he needs to just drop the title. Let's get it back to actual wrestlers and stuff. So.
Again, I always said this, if you're a shoemaker, stay a shoemaker, don't try to do other things, Last Dance, Michael Jordan, we found out, like, how great of a baseball player you are. Just saying, and it's not hate. I'm saying, like, he's the best of all time at basketball, or you should stay as a basketball player. Don't try to do that, like, don't try to go to different things. So, somebody that never tried to do something in a different things is Nature Boy Ric Flair. I don't even know why we got this promo, and I want to tell you, I love the niche. I think
it's because he signed that lifetime deal, and they're like, Nate, like, see, they should have said something like that, like, oh, then, now, forever. They always like to use that little tagline, the Nature Boy, blah blah blah. So, I don't know, like we know that people sign deals. It's not, and it's not like kayfabe is exists anyway, like we said, with the Pretty Boy, but it's one of they had him on there, and it was like, who's gonna win this match, and he spends more time going through the styling, limousine riding, kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing, whatever.
Son of a gun!
And then he goes, I'm picking Randy Orton. Woo! And then,
okay. What was that? Do that again. I'm picking Randy Orton. Woo!
We already knew he was picking Randy Orton. That's his boy from
Evolution. Yeah, we know that, pretty much, if Charlotte would have been single and Randy would have been single, it would have been like, here's my daughter for you, I love that match. He always says he's the best wrestler of all time, so we know that he was going to pick Randy Orton. I mean, they had a feud with Edge, when Edge was when Nate and Edge were like 10 years old, but So I don't know what was that about. So Liv Morgan tell us that things that we might not know about her, and this time is that she never felt good enough, never had any self-worth. That was until she got to the WWE, and then she might not know all the answers, but she's alive. And she's fulfilled who is destined to be. So she's living her best life. So I don't know what they're doing with with Liv, with this situation. She was good. She seemed like she was going to go up to something. And now she's completely lost again.
Yeah, I mean, this promo, I'm going to agree. I won't even say that it was better or worse than the last week promo, when she's talking about how she's tough and, perseverant like her mother and stuff. But for this one, me personally, the way I feel about it is the context of what she's saying. If you just read what she's saying on somebody typed it up and you're reading it, you're like, oh, okay, that's good stuff. But the way she delivers it, it's what are you doing? Liv, are they making you speak really slow in between each word? Or do you need, because sometimes I see she wears glasses. Can you not read the cue card that they have? Is it too far away? And you're like, I am perseverant like my mother. Like, who talks like that? Can you just talk normal? Like, that's the thing. I don't know if it's her, like what it is, but it is the delivery of the promos is, I feel, is why nobody is grabbing onto them.
Yeah, it had to be, but hopefully they just scratch this off because she was up to something.
But when the bell rings and during the match, it was, she's not bad. That's what I mean. Like, that's how she was getting over.
Yes, by the matches. Yeah, by the match quality, by how perseverant she was in the ring.
Yeah, but then the promos come and you're like,
then done.
It's like, ooh,
so,
sorry.
2 things, Jean Paul. Next week, we're going to see Seth Rollins going against Aleister Black. So the Monday Night Messiah is going to have an opportunity to wrestle against Aleister Black, like I said, and also like Rey Mysterio retirement ceremony. For many people that don't believe, or at least don't really understand the psychology of wrestling, he's not really retiring.
Oh yeah, no.
Already 10,000 people like, oh my God, Rey Mysterio's gonna. No, people.
And I love the commentary team. They're like, is Rey Mysterio really done? And then like, what? And then they're like, I don't believe this. Like,
yeah. So again, if they use that,
like, he's gonna come out there, and either his son's gonna come out, or like I could see them doing something where, because his son convinced him last time. He's like, Dad, don't be bullshit. And he's like, oh yeah, you're right, I won't be. He's like, that's right, Brock Lesnar. Here's me and my steel pipe. It's legit. Now I think maybe his son will try to come out, convince him again, and that's when I would have Seth Rollins or Buddy Murphy or whoever just beat the shit out of Dominic.
Yeah.
And then that's when he can be like, And
then it will be Rey Mysterio against Seth Rollins at Backlash. So that's what probably they want to try to do. That's the storyline progression where that is going.
Now, what do you now? But I don't want to go into this too long, but I've seen some people. It's up for debate because with this like Rey Mysterio retirement, some people are saying, hey, it probably is coming soon. Do you think he should have one more run with the belt? I'm talking main title, Universal or WWE.
I mean, he should, but they're not going to do it. That's as simple as that. The plans don't really fit. If they would have wanted to do it, it should have been at the Survivor Series when they gave him the championship match.
I would have said then, or he should have won Money in the Bank.
Oh, yeah, he should have won Money in the Bank. Would have been, because that guarantees an opportunity if you're Rey Mysterio. If you're Otis, questionable. But, like, for me, like, you cannot do that finish in the Survivor Series. Like, do the double 619 with Dominic, the double frog splash. That should have been it. Lesnar, like, I'm pretty sure Lesnar would have been like, hey, it was 2 against 1. And, they did all this.
I mean, you could have even did that, and it would have been legit. And then, I mean, hell, the next night on Monday Night Raw, Lesnar could have ripped his head off and took the belt back.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's not like Rey Mysterio hasn't had a short title reign before. So
I'm going to be Vince McMahon, no chains in hell.
Yep. I mean, I agree with you. I feel like he should, but do I see it happening?
No.
Unfortunately,
so,
not.
like, they're just going to give him, like, profile matches, and maybe and I don't think he's quite done. He's probably going to sign another year and then maybe be done. But, that's what is going to happen. And now we go to main event, Jean Paul. Street Profits against MVP and Bobby Lashley. The match didn't even care. Didn't even matter for anybody, because in the end, full Nelson onto Montez Ford, and he didn't let go, and he got disqualified. And why they did all this match, just to, like, what? So they get us to the main event. Why? Because the main event is pretty much the World Heavyweight Champion. In this case, McIntyre. So he comes out to make the save to the Street Profits. So, in a way, they look bad as champions. But then McIntyre and Lashley brawl for, like, the longest time. And then they had all the guys from the NXT roster, social distancing. No, I'm just kidding. But all of them came and tried to, like, separate both of them. And they kept getting their asses kicked. And that's how the show goes off the air. So you walk me through all of this.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the match, Montez Ford, I love Montez Ford. Andrew Dawkins isn't bad, but they're the tag team champs. They should not be losing to one guy who, I get it. You're trying to build him as the monster of Monday Night Raw. Lesnar's wherever. He did his WrestleMania dues. Hey, earliest you'll see me at SummerSlam, but I doubt it. I'm going to wave to you from my freaking, my farm in Minnesota. So now the new monster on Monday Night Raw is Bobby Lashley. But you're really going to sacrifice your tag team champions essentially against one guy. I'm not saying MVP is useless, but MVP is, his greater years and in-ring talent is a little bit behind him. So it was essentially just like I said, the one-man team of Bobby Lashley kicking the shit out of the Street Profits, your tag team champs. So I didn't like that. That, to me, didn't look good. And I agree with you. This was all just set up for McIntyre, kind of get you excited for that feud. I'm excited to see. I do think that'll be a really good, intense match between those two. And there is always is MVP going to get involved? Is Lana? There's going to be something screwy, so it's intriguing for that. But
yeah, but
as a main event, I think you really could have thought of something maybe a little better. I would have honestly rather have seen Apollo Crews and Andrade in the main event, because then at least the show goes off the air. Apollo Crews,
you put a title switch, and then that's always better than this. But that's what they did, and the only thing. Probably the thumbs down will be on the main event just because of that reason.
Yeah, and also I'm old school. I think if you have a championship match, it should always be the main event. I don't care if it's women's tag teams, normal like men's tag teams, mid card, your main belt, whatever. And if you have two championship matches, then you go down the order. Obviously, if you have tag teams and your main title, the tag team match goes first, then your main title.
Yeah, that's how it should be. But that now is a different era. And that's why they did this. But this sums it up for Monday Night Raw, Jean-Paul. Like I said, not a bad show. And hopefully next show will be as watchable than this one. So, family, thank you so much for watching every single one of our videos. Don't forget Dog Masters, Jean-Paul and I. We got Jordan Garber. We have a lot of more content. We have the big coverage on Double or Nothing, AEW. We have a Spanish version. We have English version. We did a lot of coverage. Every single move, every single thing, we covered. Thank you so much for the support on that. Thank you for the comments, in every single one of the social media, which they are.
Yep, and then we also want to thank you for following us on all of them, and they are Facebook, The Original Rope Break, Instagram, The Original Rope Break, Twitter, The OG Rope Break, and of course, for the number one, located right here, not in New York, right here, the number one podcast in the YouTube wrestling community.
We don't get
Original Rope Break.
We don't get blocked. We don't get, we don't get called names, or we don't get called marks. Maybe because we're doing something right, and I'm lefty, so that's even better. So, family, Jean-Paul, there's only one more thing that is left to say. Aside of saying, have a great rest of your day, family, and what that is, Jean-Paul? Target.